Hey everyone, and welcome to Comic Breakdown. If you are new to the page, please be sure to hit that sub button and like this video if you enjoy the content that we have coming out. And today we are going to be diving in to The Flash, issue number 765. Now this is Kevin Shinick. He's the writer for The Flash. He's been the writer for the last 3 issues. And a lot of people have been patiently anticipating his first story arc, which is this story arc that we're currently going to be following and have been following. If you guys haven't been checking it out, I'll leave a link in the description. You guys can check that out, find out everything Flash related currently going on. But this story arc is called With This Ring. So with this ring has found him battling Trickster as well as Dr. Alchemy. In the last issue, Barry Allen was cut off from the Speed Force. And we're going to talk more about that towards the end of the issue. Personally, I've been very skeptical of a new writer coming on. You know, Joshua Williamson did an okay job. You know, he had a lot of criticism along the way, but I think he closed out on a really heavy note with his Reverse Flash story arc. Now, I've worried about this new writer continuing along the same path as every other writer, doing the same things, repeating the same story arcs, but it's really seeming like this issue is kind of breaking the cycle, if you will. So without further ado, let's dive into this issue. So we pick up with Barry at Iron Heights Prison, and he's in the cell of Dr. Alchemy. And he's looking for any clue onto how he lost his Speed Force connection. Like, how could Dr. Alchemy, after all this time being stuck in prison, find a way to cut Barry off from his powers? Now, this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about writers repeating the same thing. You know, Barry Allen being cut off from his powers is something that we have seen time and time again. And it's really getting old at this point. And that's why I'm saying I'm really hoping that Kevin Shinick isn't following in that path. And getting towards the end of this comic, we really find out what direction he wants to go. And so as Barry Allen's investigating this, he sees words written in Latin. And so he gets an etch of them. And while he's doing this, Dr. Alchemy's just laying waste to the city and doing what he wants. No one's there to stop him. And as Barry leaves Iron Heights Prison, he gets an idea. And so he hurries back, heading outside, and he figured out what the issue was. He figured out why he was disconnected from the Speed Force. And it was because of his Flash ring. Alchemy had done something to his ring to negate his speed. And so he speeds off to his lab to investigate further. And this is where we learn about a new element to the DC Comics and to the Flash mythos. And the element is called Lysinium. And it's something that Barry Allen created for his ring. And whatever Dr. Alchemy did, he converted the Lysinium. And so now with the Lysinium essentially destroyed on the molecular level, he has to recreate some. Now, we gotta remember, he melted this down from his parents' wedding rings. And together it created the Flash ring. And it really became a symbol for him. Just a reminder of everything he fought for. And with exposure to the Speed Force, it changed it on the subatomic level, and it became a new element that he called Lysinium. And he created it really to protect the gold from breaking in the Speed Force. And so to make this element, he needs lightning. And the Flash takes off, and we see a flash of lightning off in the distance. And then he gets a call that Dr. Alchemy is out causing mayhem. And so the Flash kicks into action and catches Dr. Alchemy off guard. And so he's got the upper hand. He's got the element of surprise. And he's just beating the crap out of Dr. Alchemy. Gets his stone away from him and everything. And this is when Dr. Alchemy says, "Barry, you've been tricked. We both have." And Dr. Alchemy punches him and Barry takes off. Now, the reason Barry takes off here is because Barry immediately thinks if he knows who I am, then he knows who Iris is, and she could be in danger right now. So he grabs her and he takes off. And he takes him to Blue Valley, Nebraska. Arriving at Iris West's family home, Barry Allen thinks they're safe. but realizes very soon that they're not, as the wood around his feet traps him in place, and Dr. Alchemy comes bashing through the door. And Barry Allen has something going on with his body he can't understand. But Dr. Alchemy tells him that the stone has the ability to change chemicals within the human body, and essentially they're rearranging the DNA to with inside of him. And we see that Dr. Alchemy isn't just one person, but it's multiple. The stone has merged these people together. All of these magicians, if you will, all these philosophers. And that's the reason that Dr. Alchemy knew who he was, because of Simon Magus. Simon Magus is a sorcerer who had possessed the stone in the Middle Ages, and he could see into the future, and a future where Barry Allen's identity was known. They took over his body, and they all became aware of his secret. And so this has pretty much all been an elaborate trick. You know, Dr. Alchemy had him target Barry Allen. Had Trickster target him. And when Barry Allen had goggles put on his face in the arcade, they were placing cameras essentially in his eyes, embedding them into his pupils. And so they saw everything that Barry Allen has seen since that day. And even further, this was all a ploy. All a ploy to get something not from the Flash, or to catch the Flash, or to stop the Flash, or have the Flash stopped. This was all a ploy to get Lysinium. They needed Barry Allen to recreate the element, because they need this element because the stone is so powerful, it cycles through people, so it essentially kills them. But if they had something of a barrier, like Lysinium, it would protect the wearers. And the thing is, Dr. Alchemy had already watched Barry Allen make it. They already had the element. And that is where this issue will end. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Personally, I am really enjoying what Kevin Shinick has been doing so far. I really thought this issue was going to be the same old, you know, Barry Allen lost his powers, he gets his powers back. But this is more than that. It wasn't, you know, Barry Allen lost his powers. It was, you know, Barry Allen just overthought the whole situation, didn't realize it was just something in his ring. But this story really circled around the new element, and how that's going to play its part moving forward. It's going to be really interesting. You know, I really felt like the last few issues hadn't really gone anywhere yet. But with this issue, it's really picked up. You know, they've taken Dr. Alchemy and taken him to a new level, in my opinion. You know, he's someone with split personalities. And we're seeing all four of these personalities come out. And they're not necessarily personalities, but more of possessions due to the stone. And it's going to be really interesting if we see a Dr. Alchemy who's actually able to fuse with the Philosopher's Stone. All in all, I have to say, you know, Kevin Shinick's doing a great job so far. I think he's got great potential moving forward with the Flash series. You know, I'm hoping that he brings something fresh, something new. I really want to see Wally West incorporated in this. You know, and speaking of Wally West, I've been thinking to myself lately, you know, Barry Allen has been around for a long time. What do you guys think about possibly retiring Barry Allen from the DC landscape altogether? Having a new Flash take over the mantle, whether it be Wally West or Wallace West or any of the other dozens of speedsters, you know, Jesse Quick, whoever you could think of. Let me know down in the comments. What do you guys think? You guys think that would be a good idea? You want Barry Allen to keep on mainstreaming the comic lines? Let me know. And if you guys have not yet, please be sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video. And until